All right, here's what I want each of you to do. I want you to think in your mind and write down one person or one company that if you were doing business with them today, right now, it would totally alter and transform your business and your career like that. I want you to write down who that is. And the other thing I want you to think about, how much could that be worth you? Who is your perfect client? And who is your perfect partner? Do you know who your perfect client is? You. Okay. I mean, because I was listening to some of your products and services, and I would venture to say many of them could be worth 7 figures if you were doing business with your perfect client or your perfect partner. The other thing that came to mind when you guys were all going around the room is you got to be able to differentiate or you will die. I noticed there was a number of financial service professionals in here, a number of coaches, consultants, very competitive industries. How would you like to be so good at what you do that if this was your perfect audience, every single one would come up to you and rush to them at the back with to give them your card so you can attract your perfect clients and prospects? Okay? Now let me ask you this. How many of you think well-connected entrepreneurs make more money than their peers? How many of you think well-connected entrepreneurs get deals done in a fraction of the time due to the relationships that they have? Okay? I'm going to teach you in the next 60 minutes or 45 minutes that we have together how to be that well-connected entrepreneur where you are the mover and shaker. You are the go-to person in your industry. Would that be good? Would that be a good investment of your time? So here's the thing. I'm going to do a couple exercises in the next few minutes, but I do need you to stop on time because I know we have to get out of here. I guess the library gives us the hook. Is that how it works? Security comes in? Yeah. The goon squad? Yeah? Okay. All right. So, now by the way, I'm going to share some things with you. I guarantee you've heard some of these things before. I just want you to ask yourself when you see these concepts, are you doing the things you know? Because if you're not, you may not know some of the things as well as you think. Okay? Now, how many of you have heard this? It's not what you know, it's
who you know.
Who you know, okay? Now, let me add a couple caveats. It's how well you know someone, because just because I know someone doesn't mean I'm going to open up the Rolodex to connect someone, and vice versa, okay? Now, it's also what they know about you, okay? That's why the blogging and Twitter and all the social media stuff is becoming much more important, okay? I know there was a few of you in the audience I think either are working on a book or authors. I saw some different people. Okay, it's really important. Check this out. Good friend of mine, Robert Semen, in the real estate investment space. He's on CNN. He wrote the book, How Come That Idiot's Rich and I'm Not? Am I in your guys' way? Okay. But this is amazing. Out of $50 million in deals, okay, 80, and this guy is the guy, he's on the learning annex stage teaching everyone how to do all this real estate deals, okay? 85% of his deals came from his network, and check this out. Out of the $50 million in deals, a few people funded all the business. How many people does it take to change your life? How many true connections to really take that business to the next level? Not many. One. In many cases. Okay? All right, so I was going to have you guys meet your neighbors, but since you guys just met, we'll skip over this. So I'll tell you what, we'll go do this anyway. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to meet your neighbor, but this time, 1 minute each. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to ask them this simple question. What do you do for fun when you're not doing blank? No, James, what do you do for when you're not doing Allstate?
Allstate.
Allstate. Ride motorcycles. He rides motorcycles. Here's what I want you to do. This is $1 million thing. I've met self-made billionaires, connected with them in 5 minutes or less. They gave me their phone numbers and private emails, all because I connected with them around something they're really passionate. Okay? So take 1 minute apiece to find out what your neighbor does, or someone that you have not yet met, on what they do for fun. Okay? When they're not working. Here's the facts. Out of a room of 100 people, normally, when they first meet someone, normally they'll talk all about business. Have you ever been, known someone for quite some time? Maybe you've even worked with them, and you knew nothing about them. You knew they were a project manager, you knew they were in sales, but you knew nothing about their personality. Okay? At the end of the day, connecting is really about understanding about what goes on personal as well as the business and all the other kind of things. So, all right, let me ask you this. What are their most important assets? Trump, Branson, and Oprah. What do you think their most important assets are? Teeth? That is the first time I've ever heard the word teeth. So, okay. Hair.
Everybody feels like Oprah's their best friend.
Oprah's their best friend.
Yeah.
Personality. Their name. Sex appeal. What's that? They're talkers. Their passion or drive. Okay. I want you to put this. Think about this. They're all risk takers. And they're all right answers, by the way. Besides the fact they're all billionaires, they're on the Forbes 400, they are the market leader at what they do. But more than that, and this is what I want for each and every one of you. If Oprah wanted to get to someone on the phone, could Oprah get almost anyone in the world to call her back? Could Branson get a meeting with almost anyone? Would your life be much better can you get a meeting with anyone that you want in your sphere of influence? Okay? So when we're done, I'm going to show you strategies that not only work for me, but have worked for the top 1%, the movers and shakers. Okay? Their personal connectivity. Write this down. There's a guy from San Francisco named David Allen, the productivity guru, and he talks about getting stuff done or getting shit done. Their GSD factor is incredibly high. I want you to have a high GSD factor so you can get anything done that you need, want. Yeah, get stuff done. In other parts of the country, it's something else, but yes. All right. Now, here's the thing. Think about this. The people you admire the most, are they a giver or are they a taker? They're givers. And ask yourself, are you giving more than you're taking? A lot of times I meet successful entrepreneurs and they're trying to take all the time. It's the ones that are uber successful. They're giving back to their community, to their network, to their, who was the one who was talking about yeah, that was good stuff. If I can help you, I'd be more than willing to. That was awesome stuff. Okay. How is Trump? He happens. Trump actually gives a lot of money away, and he actually, despite his huge ego, he happens to be a pretty big giver. Okay, now here's the thing. Are you a POI? A POI, person of influence. Are you a person of integrity? Because the two things are great connectors, master relationship builders. You have to have a lot of integrity to get things done. Okay? Without it, you're not going to go as far. Now here's the thing. To me, I really believe this. Do you? Relationships are the key to whatever you need. How many of you know someone that's in transition right now that needs a job? The majority of the jobs in this market are found through their networks, right? How many of you need money to grow your entrepreneurial business? Okay? Same thing. Most venture capitalists, angel investments, private money is all found through people's networks. Now, we'll talk a lot about the business thing. But let me tell you about really what, to me, about connecting is all about. 2 years ago, Harv Eker, Secrets of the Millionaire Mind, I was honored to be on his stage in my very first year in business. And I had a friend, Jason Ullman, who wrote a book called Conversations with Millionaires. And we were working on my speech, crafting it, and he said, "Larry, you are giving me a headache." We were going back and forth, arguing over different points. And I said, "Well, get out of here. We'll come back tomorrow. We'll figure this thing out." And now he's 35 years old, healthy as can be, and the next day I get a call from his roommate telling me he just suffered a brain aneurysm and he's got a 30% chance to live. And then I found out he's in the worst hospital in Atlanta. Who knows what kind of doctors are serving him. And right then and there, I stopped with business and I placed 5 phone calls and 5 emails to some incredibly influential people. And within a very rapid period of time, all 5 responded with who the top doctor was and what the right hospitals were. Fortunately, a bed was able to be opened up at the top clinic in Georgia at Emory. But to me, and today he's recovered, not fully, but compared for a 30% chance to life. I like those odds of where he is today. So the point is, if your son, daughter, friend, mother, spouse, life was on the line, there's a difference between a contact and a connection. And my mentor once asked me, he said, "Did I have contacts or did I have connections?" And when the chips are down, you're calling on connections, you're not calling on contacts. So what I want to teach you is how to take a contact that you might meet here and turn it into a connection, and hopefully turn it into a lifelong relationship that can help you get whatever it is you want faster than you ever thought possible. Okay?